There's been a little problem in the cockpit.
The cockpit? What is it?
Hello! Welcome to my office. I decided to turn on my video earlier than usual. Usually I wait for the music to fade, but here we are. Welcome to the Project Teddy Space. I am Gang, as usual, with the Gold Diggers on a Thursday. You know, Mother's Day just passed, and we always associate mothers mostly with sacrifice or offering and etc. Statistically normal, of course. There are some mothers who are awful. That's real. That's real, and we just kind of have to like dance with that. But we love them nonetheless. You know, we always love mothers because they gave birth to us. But I also want to talk about there is a study in the poverty incidence and hunger that in Southeast Asia, the mothers are the most undernourished. Yeah, can you believe that? So because I think it's an indicator that if there is limited number of food, they give it to their kids. That's a real fact. But that's not what I'm presenting today, in fact. I just wanted to start with that. We are actually talking about our long-standing relationship with suffering. And this is so interesting to me. I know this is your mental health minute, and believe me, this is about your mental health. Culturally, I don't know if it's Filipino or maybe in the Christocentric context. Now, we really hold a premium on suffering. Parang pag mahirap or talagang duguan, parang it's a better offering. So, I think I just want to go around this topic tonight because it's very good for your mental health. If you find yourself nodding right now, don't turn away. This is for you. Pag sinabi nila, oh, ang hirap, tapos ang galing. Parang, really? Okay, I'm gonna describe this to you, right? Stay with me. I think there's a lot of external influences. First of all, our religion, really, our faith leaning, whether it's Islam, Christocentric, Presbyterian, Evangelist, or Catholic, or whatever it is, Zoroastrianism, even Buddhism, I think that's an external influence. Meron talagang value when someone is suffering. You know, parang there's reward. I get it. In fact, I accept it. What I can't accept, though, is that if something is easy for you, does it make it less of an offering? I think that's kind of what I want to talk about. And I think one of the external influences also is all the mythologies we've read, the hero stories, you know, na underdog, na biglang naging successful in the end, and etc. But, you know, there's also a flip side to the underdog becoming victorious in the end. Usually they become bullies or they become narcissistic presidents. You know, sometimes that happens. And also, I think another external influence is like heartbreak songs. And, you know, I kid you not, at least 68% of the number one songs are songs of heartbreak. So, ibig sabihin, parang pag may hinagpis, pag may hinagpis or suffering, it's almost like we value it more. and while I'm not against that, I would like to be a champion and advocate of ease. Parang I want naman to move with na medyo komportable. Right? Kasi lagi naman may suffering sa earth eh. Alam nyo naman yun. Other than the external influences, there are also internal influences. Yung brain natin is really billions of neurotransmissions. They just keep talking to each other. Like, I see a red balloon. I see a red book. And then it's processing. It reminds me of an aunt. You know, there's all happening at the same time. That's your default. So, I think sometimes we have to understand that we have two modes in our brain. And I'm going to talk about it pretty soon, the default and the focus. And you need to collaborate between the two modes. And these are the two modes, focus and default. I'll talk about default first, because usually in any gadget, default means where you start, right? So our default brain, by the way, this is by a wonderful Israeli artist who's my friend, Dekel, and she's the watercolor artist. Our default mode, even when at rest, is 18,000 signals all at the same time. You know this. You can just be sitting still, waiting for your passport, waiting for your license, applying for, I don't know, kahit nakapila ka lang sa grocery, you can think of 18 other things. In fact, if you wash the dishes, which I do, by the way, I wash dishes, habang ako naghuhugas ng pinggan, I swear to God, I'm thinking of 18 things. Like, ano ba yung lifespan ng dog ko? Or did I buy dog food? Like, is there enough dog food for tomorrow? I mean, how about the education? Where did all the loans of the PhilHealth go? And then sometimes I always also think of, wow, where's all the money for vaccines? Why is there no vaccines? While I'm washing the dishes. Can you believe that? I have like 18,000 problems all in my head. And in fact, sometimes I like saying this all the time. Do you know that I have had cancer, lost 6 friends, and etc. all in my mind? I mean, it never even happened. But well, and we tend to have that default. We're always thinking of the worst at the same time, all at the same time. That's default brain at rest. So when we are thinking of 18 things, we tend to fixate on one or two or three or maybe one X or etc. And then we keep going around and around on the what if. What if I did this? Would she have would he have stayed? Would she have stayed? What if I didn't do this? Will we still break up? What if, 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 1 hour, what if, same thing. You don't even have a plan. So we do tend to ruminate when, from the 18 things we were talking about, we fixate on one. Right? That's ruminating. All right. Now, let me tell you about the second mode, focused. This is when you find a delightful book, a good film, a TV show you want to watch, and you're totally in the characters. You are actually really watching Homeland. You are totally into, House of Cards or whatever it is you're watching. And the other tasks kind of fade out a bit in the background and everything can wait. So when I have news, when you're focused, your brain is so happy. Your neurons are so happy. Why? Kasi hindi sila nagta-traffic. Walang nagta-traffic ng signals ganito all together now. When you're focused, like you're just there in the book or in the movie, in the film, in a loved one, by the way, or when you're texting someone, you're so focused, you're so happy. I mean, the default of the neuron kasi is a direct transmission with each other. So, parang happy yung neurons natin kapag focus tayo. And if you remember last week, we discussed a lot of cognitive distortions. Remember? We talked about that. If not, go ahead and click that other one. And on this slide is a portrait of a girl, and then it's distorted. And a lot of our focus gets really disturbed and not on at par when we have cognitive distortions. And like I always say, cognitive distortions aren't always monstrous and obvious. Sometimes, if you look at this picture, it's the picture of a square and a hallway, except that it's 90 degrees. Parang kita mo yung gitnang square, kita mo rin yung hallway on the left side. It looks realistic, but actually it's distorted. So sometimes even our view of the world, nakakatakot to kasi parang distorted siya but it looks real. So sometimes we think this way, like parang akala natin realistic yung isang thing, pero actually dinidistort na natin. Things like, I'm sure they don't like me. I'm sure they think I'm a loser. I'm sure ganyan. Because it looks real and you can even back it up. You can even explain it. Pero actually, it's really helpful to know when your lenses are distorted. So you're going to have to ask yourself, or you can ask a friend, do you think I'm seeing the situation wrong? So this is what I mean by you need to really rest your lenses. With our cell phones, we can see if the battery is dying and we quite know immediately what to do. We plug it in. Para there's more power. I don't know why we're not as straightforward with our own battery indicator. You know when you're tired. I mean, I think you feel it. So when you do feel that, rest. And the other option is you're going to have to find someone, because I'm quite sure you have someone to call and to ask and to partner up and say, you know what happened to me today or etc. Because nothing, the best antidepressant with the least side effects and the almost zero possibility of bad addiction is social support. So find your friend, reach out. And because it's a pandemic, hindi pwedeng chamba that you'll bump into each other in the grocery or kanyan. You're gonna have to do it on purpose. Like you schedule a Zoom meeting. You really say, hey, can I call you at 4? I know pre-pandemic we weren't like this. We got spoiled with encountering people socially kasi we have neighbors, we bump into them in the grocery, we have old friends, we bump into them in the cafe that we all go to. So somehow pre-pandemic, we always had like a regular, it doesn't matter how close or on the third tier, on the fourth circle of our social circle, we kind of always see someone and say hi. Ngayon nga, even if you bump into someone you know in the grocery, naka-mask, baka hindi mo makilala, hindi ka pa mag-hi, hindi ka rin makilala kasi naka-mask at saka naka-shield. So reach out, partner up, like, and sadyain mo, hindi pwedeng chamba yung social interactions these days. Gotta do it on purpose. If I may use the word, bespoke. So find your friend, reach out, message, schedule a Zoom. Because social support, as I said earlier, is really what will decrease the pain of solitude and uncertainty in this day and age. It is the most, for me, it's the safest antidepressant, no side effects. So reach out, partner up, do not distort, and ask someone for help. Like, am I distorting my view? Because I'm not so focused these days. Ikaw rin ba? My default is low, like 100 things I'm worried about. Ikaw rin ba? Like, just ask. I think that'll go a long way. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about anyway. Because when you're in a community, you're gonna have to cheer each other on, whether what is offered is difficult or not. Remember how I started this evening with how we have such a premium for sacrifice? Like if someone has a cup that's bigger than the other, we always think that the offering to you is more important. And I need you to disabuse yourself of that. Not just because mas mahirap yung offering, it doesn't make it more valuable. I think when we look at each other as a community, we will see that we are different shapes and different sizes and different colors. So whatever we give each other as support or as a listener, as someone who gives advice or someone who asks for advice, whether it's difficult or not, for as long as if someone is there for you in community, that's offering enough, and we should be grateful. With others, kasi parang, oh my gosh, I'm so touched. She really went out of her way to be with me. That's also good because, why not? You want people exerting effort for you. But these days, it's a whole different formula. It's a pandemic. I can just log on Zoom. It doesn't make it less if I drove 5 kilometers to see you, 50 kilometers to see you. If I flew, or it took an airplane ride just to see you, it's the same. If I double click on a Zoom room where you're there, that's still a worthy offering. That's still community. Hindi kailangan mahirap. So I don't know. We're gonna have to reanalyze our relationship with suffering and offering and community and friendship. Basta nandyan, basta present for us, we value that. And I really need to say this again. Our brains kasi are really happier when we're focused. And when can we be focused? When we're rested. When can we rest? When there are other people. And when there are other people, that's where we ask for help. And when we ask for help, that's social support. And when we ask for social support, that's when we feel like we're in a community. And guess what? We really feel strongest when we're part of a tribe, when we're part of community. Because, I will say this again. I must have said this 4 times already. I don't care. I'll say it again. I think the safest antidepressant, the one with the least side effects and the least fear of being addicted wrongly, unhealthily addicted, is social support. Yeah, share your cup with someone. So I have a Monday to Friday guide for you. This is basically your mental health tip. It might take a minute or it might not, but I have a tip for you. Please take a picture or screen cap this slide. Okay, I'm gonna wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. You take a picture? Okay, good. Because this is your Monday to Friday guide. On Monday, thank someone, anyone. SMS, email them, or call them up. Just say thank you. I don't know. Thank you for what? Something they gave you 5 years ago or anything. On Tuesday, show someone compassion. I don't know, send someone a message like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, I heard your mom is sick or whatever. Just extend compassion on Tuesday. These are just your guides, okay? On Wednesday, find something na hirap ka to accept and accept it. Like, okay, ang bagal talaga ng rollout ng vaccine. I'm going to accept it right now and not fight everybody and really wait for my turn because thank God I have no comorbidity. Okay, that's something you want to accept, right? Something you want to accept. We're not accepting that the vaccines are slow. We are just accepting that if we have no comorbidity, we cannot jump the line kasi kailangan unahin yung immunocompromised, right? On Thursday, find meaning. I don't know how you want to do this. Find meaning. Read something with meaning to you. Do something with meaning. Basta. Meaning is your guide word for Thursday, okay? On Friday, ito yung pinakamahirap. Friday, forgive someone. Even if you don't reach out to them, you don't need to message them, you don't have to talk to them. Just think in your head about asshole A and bitch B, and then say, I wish them well. I want to forgive them. Just do it in your thoughts, even if you only half mean it, try it, because it's really, really good for your mental health. So, why is it only Monday to Friday? Because on weekends, you're allowed to bitch. I'm just kidding. On weekends, you can rest. Let me go back to the previous slide. Just in case you weren't able to take a picture, please use this as your guide this week of what to do. Say thank you on Monday, offer compassion on Tuesday, accept something difficult but necessary on Wednesday, extend someone meaning, find something meaningful on Thursday, and even just in your mind, try to forgive someone on Friday. Okay, you don't have to be so nerdy about this. You can actually forgive someone even on Tuesday if you want. We don't have to be super strict. I mean, mental wellness is not A or B, black and white. It's a continuum. It's a continuum. That was just a guide. So hopefully you took a picture of that slide, and hopefully that's your guide for this week. If you're so lost with your schedule, at least remember on Monday, say thank you. And on Thursday, you watch Gold Diggers again. Again, I'm Gang. This is the Project Study Space. I'm the Project Study Lead Therapist, and you are fine, and you'll be fine this week.